You're listening to the Following On podcast. I'm Andrew Mckenna and I'll be joined by the former England fast bowler Darren Gough for the next few minutes to look back at England's 5-wicket win over the West Indies in Antigua as they levelled the 3-match series with 1 to play. We'll be discussing a brilliant maiden one-day international century for the England captain Liam Livingstone. We can also discuss if he can be smarter with his bowling options, but also look ahead to that series decider in Barbados on Wednesday night. So plenty to come over the next few minutes. You are listening to Following On. So what a one-day international it was. England winning the toss and electing to put the home side into bat. The statistics tell you that sides win more often than not recently at batting seconds. And at one stage, they'd have been pretty happy with things because with Brandon King and Evan Lewis dismissed for 7 and 4 respectively, the West Indies were 12 for 2 in the 4th over. But Casey Carty and Shea Hope had other ideas. Carty made 71 from 77. Shea Hope, with his 17th one-day international 100, made 117 from 127 balls. Shafane Rutherford chipped in with 54 from 36 as well. I say chipped in, he did considerably more than chip in. He belted it to all parts. Hetmeyer 24 from 11, and Roston Chase and Matthew Ford, the not-out men, 20 and 23 respectively. England using 9 bowlers for only the 2nd time in one-day international cricket. So England set 329 to win at 6.6 and over. Phil Salt 59 at a run a ball. Will Jacks 12 from 11. Jordan Cox 4 from 9. Then Jacob Bethel 55 from 57. Liam Livingstone 124 not out from 85. Sam Curran 52 at a run a ball. Dan Mosley 4 not out at a run a ball. The bowling figures for the West Indies: Matt Ford 3 for 48 from 8.5. Jaden Seals 0 for 66 from 8. Shamar Joseph 1 for 72 from 10. Gudakesh Moti, the man who took 4 wickets in the first game, wasn't able to get on the wicket-taking column today. 0 for 71 from 9. Shafane Rutherford bowled 2 overs for 9. And Roston Chase 1 for 53 from his 10. But Darren Gough, there is only one place we can start talking about this game, and that is with the England captain. 124 not out from 85 deliveries. His side needed him to stand up because it was a big total to chase down. Boy, did he stand up. He stood about 9 foot tall today.
Yeah, absolutely superb with a bat. I thought he was average in the field as a captain and as a bowler today. But when it came down to it, and he's in the side mainly for his batting, his power hitting, but his experience showed them the importance as well of experience. If you're looking down that side and you're probably picking 3 that are in the actual real first choice 11 for one-day internationals, Liam Livingstone would be that person, and that was a mature innings for me. Never lost sight. I remember being on with Manners and he said, well, it's, you know what I mean, that with 11 to go, he just kept calm, just took it to 100, bang off 10, and it's, with the way they hit the ball these days, 10, 11, 12, I think I said on air, 12 and over, now, they believe they're going to get it. They don't want it to go above 12, but at 12, they feel as though they'll walk it. And with those 2 at the crease for the length of time they were there, Livingstone and Curran, was an unbelievable partnership. Truly, it's one of the best innings I've seen. That it really is. The maturity of it, the belief that it can go and wait until that final 10 and then just struck with a power. 6. There were 6s everywhere, raining 6s.
Yeah, it was.
And he was doing it at will. Such a good innings.
From Liam Livingstone's point of view, it's his first 100 in one-day international cricket for England. I mean, it could be, I don't want to sort of go overboard on this one, but it could be the making of him. I mean, it was so controlled that there was huge power, but there was control in it.
Well, responsibility. He's captain. He wants to. He's captain, right? He's at the crease. They lose. His first series as captain is lost. He's 2-0 down with 1 to play. It's a captain's innings, an individual innings, and a team performance innings. Absolutely superb. I can't praise him enough. He came to the crease, he set off because the guy he was in. He came at the crease and tried to up the tempo straight away. Once that happened, a wicket went, he then took over the responsible role. Curran came in and upped the tempo. And that's the way they do it. The guy that's in, Salt did it until he played that shocker of a shot against Ford. He took his foot off the pedal when Jacob Bethel was going, if you remember, and then he played that poor shot, and Livingstone came in, took the pressure off Bethel. Right, you've got to bat and get 100 now. They knew one of their team had to get 100. West Indies did it, and if one of your team gets 100, you're going to be over 300 nearly every time. And now Livingstone coming in at 5, magnificent 100, magnificent.
I mean, Shea Hope made 117 from 127 balls earlier, his 17th one-day international 100. It was a great knock, but it would take something special to take Shea Hope's 100 away from top billing in this game, and boy, did we just have it. I mean, that's how impressive this was.
Well, two top 100s, you know, in this game. Shea's 100 was fantastic as well. 2 wickets down early on, came in as a captain as well. The responsibility there. He knew he had to bat through, and England had him by the throat, really. And I thought England let him off there. They were poor, weren't they? They were poor. There were too many bowling changes. They didn't seem to have a plan. There wasn't going into it and say, right, I think this is the plan for him. This is the plan. He was just winging it. That's what it looked like. We know he wasn't because he captained Lancashire before, but he was winging it. And they lost control, and West Indies managed to get a total, which I thought was way too many. But it goes to show when you've got power in your side and you've got quality like Livingstone who can hit sixes, there's no ground big enough in the world. We've seen it in the IPL from him, Big Bash. We've seen it in the 100. We've seen it in the Blast. Everywhere he plays, he can do this. We know he can do this. This is why he goes for $1 million in auctions. And he's just shown today why he's a contracted white ball cricketer for England in all formats.
You've touched on the bowling there. 9 bowlers used by England for only the second time ever in one-day international cricket. Sam Curran was 6th change, 8th bowler used, and it was after 30 overs when it was finally chucked to him. He ended up bowling 3 overs, 0 for 17. I mean, what is Sam Curran's role with England in this side, and what is his role going forward? Because at the moment it looks like in these conditions England see him as a number 6 batter who can bowl a bit, and we know he's better than that.
I think what we've seen of Sam now, he peaked early with his bowling, right, and his batting always had potential, but I think he has turned into a batter now who bowls, right, and I think England have lost faith in his bowling in the longer format, 50 overs, and Test cricket. I think that's been obvious to everyone, right? T20, in fact, his franchise have just released him as well, haven't he? And that surprised me as well, because in Indian conditions, these are similar in the West Indies, the slow pitches, ball cross seam, ball across, wants to get it on the offside, bowls lots of slower ball bouncers as well. But he came on too late for me. He's gone from an opening bowler to a first change bowler, now to what was he today? Six change. And lack of confidence as well, you know. When he's bowled in the SA20, I've seen him the last 2 years, he's been poor. He's been poor. Sam's got to get back to the drawing board with his bowling. I think he's got huge potential as a cricketer in all formats, even Test cricket when Stokes is not around, and if Wokes has an injury. He's still a good player, but he seems to have been put to the back of the queue, doesn't he, at the minute? And his batting's took over. Quality batter, we saw it again tonight. We saw it the other night. And I think his batting now has become his main weapon. He's got to get back to working on his bowling, because still think he's got a lot to offer. I just wonder if Liam Livingstone is getting overcomplicated because they've got too many bowling options. Yes, of course you want 5 or 6, maybe even a 7th. It's not easy, Mackie, you're right. But sometimes if you get too many options, you think, well, I've got him in my side, I've got to give him a bowl. Yeah, absolutely spot on. I think that can be. So let's give him a little leeway on that. But you've got so many bowlers. But what I would say to that is, but again, I see Liam Livingstone as a batsman power hitter in your side who can bowl your 3 or 4, 5 overs on a good day, right? He's bowled 7 today. He came on again first spinner, didn't he, the other night after Adel. So he seems to have put himself before everyone else. Is that because he's more experienced? He's played more games than anybody else? I'm not so sure. But I said Mosley. I think he had a bit to offer. I thought he come on too late as well. Sam Curran could have probably come on before Liam Livingstone at that point. And if we were sitting here now and Liam Livingstone had bowled in that total 3 overs, right, I could accept it. But he's bowled himself 7 overs, 1 for 56. which surprised him. And Adol took a bit of stick today. You don't often see that. 62. Picked up the 2 wickets, though, which were vital. And Saqib, I always feel for someone who puts his hand up and bowls at the end and goes for a few. That last over cost him, right? And you look at his figures and go 8 overs, done for 56. But what did he go for that last over?
21, I think.
21, right? So he'd actually bowled quite well. And then he took him for 21 on that last over. I always feel for bowlers like that, because on paper now you look at it and think, oh, he got a bit of tap. But I actually thought he bowled okay. John Turner with a new ball was outstanding again. He's always going to bowl you a bad ball, give you a bit of width. But I think he's been impressive the 2 games. Jofra got through 9 overs. A little bit of concern, he was holding his elbow on a few occasions today, but back-to-back games for him. Which is a positive. It'll be interesting what they do to him, because they're trying to step up his fitness now. But I think from someone who we brought up in Barbados, might not play now the 3rd one, but he has got a few days off now. It's not till Wednesday, is it? So they might be believed, but this is the time now for Jofra to step up, and they might play him in all 3 games. Well,
I got Gary Morgan, our statsman, to check. The last time Jofra played 3 one-day internationals in a row, because we all think...
World Cup.
2020... against Australia at Old Trafford was the 3rd of those. So basically the COVID series of 2020 was the last time Jofra played 3 one-day internationals in a row. Let us hope we see him in Barbados on Wednesday, because that means they're confident enough in his body to now play 3 in a row.
Well, we talk about winning series, right, for confidence and everything. And this is England's, let's be straight about it, this is England's 2nd team.
Yeah.
It's not England's 1st team. The 7 players who would be in this squad who are not in it, purely because they're in the test squad, right? And if they can come out of this with a series win, confidence-wise for these young players, it's massive. So, all to Barbados, 3rd one-day international, next Wednesday. Should be a great spectacle. Lots of England supporters there, as always. And, well, I can't wait for the game now, because you've got 2 teams now desperate for a series win.
We keep mentioning the fact during the commentary that for a day game, the average score batting first on this pitch is 246. West Indies were miles above that. Throw in what Shai Hope said there about a slow outfield as well. You know, that's taken probably 20 or 30 off the total as well.
Absolutely.
That's 350. And you lose.
I think both teams will be disappointed with their bowling today. And I think for the West Indies, it showed their inexperience with the ball. It really is. Ford showed talent in these 2 games, inexperience. Sales, inexperience. Debutant, right, Joseph, inexperience. Their most experienced bowler, Al-Sari, was rested today. So all the way through, they've got inexperience with their seam attack. The spinners, I thought they was okay today. Moti didn't get it right, but there was some good hitting there from the guys. They played them quite well, didn't they, the spinners? He wasn't really turning. Short boundaries. You saw miss-hits at the end going for 6. But both teams, if they really analyse it properly, will look at that and think we didn't bowl at our best today. Both teams.
And the point you make about the West Indies bowling lineup, Shamar Joseph is the oldest one of the 3 seamers at 25, and he's on debut.
Yeah.
So, you know, you kind of say, well, in an ideal world, you wouldn't have those 3 together. You'd have 2 of them and Al-Sari Joseph.
And you know, he didn't bowl that badly as well. Shamar Joseph, at the end, his first spell, I thought he was outstanding. But coming back, when the pressure was on him and they were looking to score off him, that's when he panicked. He even just hit the cut bit on one occasion.
Yes,
just so tried to bowl a slower ball and just got in the cut bit. And he panicked, didn't he? Bowling at Livingstone again, he just didn't get it right. The wind going into the short boundary, hit him with the wind, and he got it 2 straight. And he just flicked 2 for 2 sixes. And that's it. That's what international cricket's like. You got these guys who hit the ball a long way, and he's got a lot of that to come. If he's going to play a lot of franchise cricket around the world and a lot of international cricket for his country, he's going to have worse days than that, let me assure you.
Well, absolutely. Right, let's look ahead to Wednesday. So, off to Barbados. Keep reminding you, it's a day-night game again, so just like the first one. So, on air at 5 o'clock for us here on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. 6 o'clock UK time for the first ball, so it's day-night in a new venue. Now, England only made 1 change today from the first game. I I'm not sure I can see many changes in this, because you wouldn't necessarily change a winning side, although you might want to tighten up something on the bowling. So it could well be that there's a couple of guys who've come all the way to the Caribbean and have had a nice holiday.
Yeah, well, they've got the T20s to come, 5 of them. I think they'll mix it up there. But the only one, and he'll want to play because it's Barbados, is Jofra. Yeah. It's whether they think he's played 2 games now. He's in the T20 side as well, isn't he? So he's going to play the 2 T20 games in Barbados. They might say, look, Jofra, you've got what? How many overs did he bowl the first game? 5 or 6? 5 or 6. So he's bowled a few overs.
5 in the first, 9 today.
Let's rest him in that third one. Open with Saqib and Turner. Yeah. And then it's or they bring in Topley as well. I think it'll be the same team. Unless they do bring back Jamie Overton, because they have got all them bowlers. The balance of the team is just all wrong, isn't it? But it's either Overton comes in for one of the other guys, one of the seamers.
From a West Indian point of view, Darren Sammy's got a bit of a job here as head coach, hasn't he? Because they're going to be stewing on this one for a while. And you can.
It's one that got away, Macca.
Yeah.
It's one that got away for him. Sammy there as head coach will be disappointed. He'd have thought that at half time that was 90% in their favour. An experienced bowling attack, they win that game by 30 or 40, might even be more, because of the panic. They get behind under pressure, and they lose wickets in the outfield. But in an inexperienced attack, and England with the experience of Livingstone in an experienced side got over the line.
Absolutely. Goughy, thank you so much once again. Brilliant this afternoon as always. So we are all set for a series decider on Wednesday in Barbados. The action coming to you. The build-up will start from 5 o'clock. But we're there thanks to a quite brilliant run chase from England. Set 329 for victory. They did it with 2.5 overs to spare thanks to an absolute blunderbuss innings from Liam Livingstone. Good evening.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.